Hi folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the GoGoBest GF600. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to pick out a name to make bikes, you want one that's going to go, and you want the best one, don't you? So, GoGoBest GF600. GF600 sounds like a motorbike. Like every fat tyre e-bike, the first thing you ever want to do is go mud plug-in. So that's the first thing I did. I went mud plug-in, and yeah, absolutely brilliant, no problem whatsoever. After the mud, it was just some generic sort of tracks, easy, you know, even though there's bumps on there, it was all nice and stable, no problem at all. And then after that, back off the tracks onto tarmac, and like I say, just absolutely brilliant, well under control, nice and comfortable, just what you'd expect from you know, a really well put together decent e-bike. It was an average day, average weather, a little bit windy, but the bike felt, like I say, really stable. We did some town lanes, some country lanes, going around local housing estates, so weaving in and out of traffic, negotiating T-junctions and stop signs, and altogether, you know, testing out how well the bike took off, the different modes, just the feel of the bike, the way it pedals, the way it handles, and then jumped onto some tracks as well to get an idea of what the bike was like, you know, just jumping around the tracks over some grass and fields and things like that. And yeah, fully tested, you know, absolutely well happy with this bike. It does exactly what an e-bike, fat tire e-bike should do. Smiles to your face, and yeah, and comfort to your bum. So let's run through the tech specs of this bike. The wheels, fat tire edition wheels, 26x4, and then disc brakes, 160mm manual cable operated disc brakes that are really good actually. They stop really well, all things considered. You've got a 1000-watt rear motor, rear hub motor, with a 7-speed Shimano derailleur gear system and a 13 amp hour nice big fat battery on there as well. So they've kind of kept a normal sort of bike frame look to it, and then done the old bolt on a controller, which is there, and then the battery goes there. And I kind of like that. I kind of like the retro look of the bike, especially like the mudguard on the back. Comfy-ish seat. It's not obviously meant for mega rides and rides out, but it is comfy-ish, so a good half hour, 45-minute ride out over all sorts of different terrain. Comfy seat. You can easily adjust the height of the seat using this quick release, and they're suggesting that rider height is around 5'5" to 6'3". So I think that's about right. Mandy had a quick go with this, and she was the lowest part of the seat stem, with the feet sort of just sort of tiptoeing on the floor. I'm 5'10", and when I sat on it at this height, yeah, I was flat foot on the floor. So yeah, I would say that's perfectly okay. You got a little handle as well on the back of the seat, which helps with moving it around. So it's a hardtail on the rear. Front is shocks, which are adjustable, so you do have a lockout mode, which basically stops them moving, and obviously a preload adjustment on the side, so if you do have a bit of suspension on the front, you can control the travel of that suspension. But that said, these fat tyres recommended 20 psi maximum sort of pressure in there. It takes out a lot of the bumps and everything of the road. So even going down rough gravel tracks, I can feel the back end sort of bouncing around, but I'm not getting jolted. So yeah, it really works quite well. And the frame, like I say, got a lovely ride quality to it. No rattles, no creaks or anything like that. Everything just is spot on. Lovely ride to it, very smooth. Usual sort of controller on the front there, which is an S700. Seen that on quite a few bikes now. Difference about this bike, as well as the locking mechanism for the battery, which I'll talk about in a minute, there's a power switch down there. So make sure that the power switch to the battery is on. And then you've got the M button, press and hold that on the little controller, and that powers the onboard computer. You've then got 5 modes of pedal assistance. And on this one, you've got an option to turn on the throttle or not. Throttle mode is in mode 0 or 1. So that's mode 0 now, which is basically sort of, you know, no pedal assist. You're just purely on throttle if you're off-road. And then if you go on pedal assist mode 1, you can get pedal assist and throttle. For modes 2, 3, 4 and 5, there's no throttle. So if I go to mode 2, there's no throttle, but I've got level 2 pedal assist. Bit of a strange way of doing it, but it works okay. I've done sort of 12-15 miles over the last few days, and you just get used to it. I've done off-road where I did use the throttle a fair bit. Like I say, when I got stuck in the mud, I did use the throttle a fair bit. But then, like I say, as soon as I go on road, go to level 2, which then you can start to feel the assistance kick in, and that disables the throttle. Obviously, with it having throttle mode and a 1000-watt rear hub motor, just check the laws in your country or your area to make sure this is compliant. Down mode on the little control here, if I press and hold that, that puts it into walk assist, which then gets it to 5 miles an hour, which strangely enough, you don't have to hold the button down. So once you've enabled it, it carries on until you press the brakes. The up and press hold of the control here turns the front light on. Sadly, there's no rear light, so you can maybe get one that attaches to the back under this little handle of the seat here, or whatever. But yeah, just a front light on this, which is really bright, really effective as well. No horn, but you do get a bell. You've also got a 7-speed Shimano rear gear set, cassette and derailleur, which is the usual thumb controls, very easy to use. So let's show you how the battery comes out. You get 2 sets of keys with this, because they give you a lock as well. So that's quite a nice thing to get. Well, let's talk about the battery first. So yeah, make sure the battery's switched off there. Put in the key and that ejects the battery. It's a little bit of a tight fit, in all fairness. But yeah, nice chunky big battery, and with a little control on the top there that shows you how much sort of charge state and everything you've got in there. And yeah, you just drop that back in, click that back in the frame, and that's locked in now. So that's what one key is for. You don't need the key in permanently. The key is just to lock the battery in place. So the other keys are for this little lock, which gives a nice little holder there as well to keep it in place. And then yeah, just slide that back, get a nice key, and that releases the lock. Oop. And yeah, you can just, obviously a normal lock it up wherever you go. But yeah, it's nice that it actually comes with the bike. So they're really thinking about decent bikes like this, and the fact that you do want to keep them nice and secure. So configuration of the handlebars is up to you. I've got with a slightly sort of forward feel to it, just so that when I actually sit on the bike, feel like I'm sort of half sat up and half bent forward, but it feels really comfortable for me just to kind of get on the bike. I've got the right space in between my knees. Yeah, everything feels really nice about this riding position, and I've chosen to have the screen, I guess you might call it the opposite way round. Normally you'd have the screen over the top there, but I've kind of put it over the top of the headstock. Just so it's nice and hidden, and I've got clean lines then on the handlebars, so it almost looks like one of the new models where you get the screen built into the sort of the headstock. Weight capacity is 200 kilos, which I think is fantastic. There's a bike that I recently reviewed that's had 100 kilos, which is like pretty much my weight, and I thought they got that wrong. Looking at this bike and the way it's constructed, I think the other one was 200 kilos. So yeah, 200 kilos on this. I can see why. Well constructed, so yeah, it can hold 200 kilos. As far as weight wise, 28 kilos of weight. Kind of believe that one. Does actually feel quite lightweight in all fairness. Battery charge time is around about 4 or 5 hours. The estimated range is between 50 and 85 miles, depending on how you ride it. So yeah, GoGoBest GF600. Really like it. They make it in yellow and black, green and black, and black. Choose your colour. I'm glad they sent me the yellow one, kind of like it. The bike came well packaged. Everything was in the box that you needed to build the bike, and they've obviously thought about how to ship it out so nothing gets damaged, nothing gets scratched. They even give you a toolkit with a pump, even the lock was in there, the bell, obviously the pedals, some little tools as well to assemble it all, and the quick release bar as well for the front quick release wheel. A lot of people have a go at e-bikes. A lot of people say, oh, you know, get some proper exercise. But if I didn't have an e-bike, and if there weren't e-bikes like this, really affordable and very powerful e-bikes, then there's a lot of people like me who wouldn't actually get out at all. And let's face it, just getting out and having a bit of fun, regardless of whether you're using a bit of throttle or whether you're gently pedaling and the motor's giving you assistance, you're still getting out and you've still got the ability to have a bit of fun. So in my book, e-bikes, brilliant, get everybody of all shapes and sizes out, having a bit of fun, having a bit of exercise. So if they have given me any offer codes or anything else, I'll put all the information about that and the links in the video description down below. Right folks, till the next time, see you later, bye for now.